Yeah, we're thrilled to have the invite again to go back to the LA Tipoff Classic. A great, really 2 games, NC State and South Carolina kicking things off, and then we'll follow against Iowa. And it's been a fun week just preparing against a really, really good team, and just looking forward to Hokie Nation coming down and supporting our women and having a good early non-conference test.
All right, raise your hands. Please use the microphone.
For both players, what do you remember about the crowd, the atmosphere of last year's game? What have you told the new coaches and new players about what that experience was like?
Well, the atmosphere was just crazy. We just talked about it. I think it was like closer to 16,000 people there, and a lot of them Hokie fans. So it was just a very fun experience to play in front of that crowd.
I'd say my experience was a little bit different, that being one of my basically first college games. I think I was a little bit in shock. So even talking to the freshmen now about, like, going into games, we're like, are you nervous? They're like, yeah. We're, like, not really playing, like, anybody real big right now. So just going in, but understanding that we've prepared for what we're about to go into and just keeping kind of tunnel vision with what the end goal is and not really worried about any outside noise and things like that.
Megan, considering neither team has the same coach from last year and both teams lost their star players from last year, do you feel like this is a pretty even-Steven matchup, kind of a mirror image of these teams?
It's definitely different than last year for sure. So yeah, I mean, Iowa looks a little different. They got a couple really good returners that are in new roles, similar to our team. And then Jan does an amazing job. She's been with that program for a long time, so it's nice that she's getting her shot to take over. And yeah, there are some similarities, some youth, people in new roles, and I think both teams, from the history of our programs, we want to continue to have great seasons. And like I said, to play a really good team, this early is great, and just really excited to see, kind of what we're made of on Sunday.
Iowa's one returning starter from the team that played last year is Stolke down low. What stands out to you on film when you watch her play?
Stolke's really good. I mean, she's such a just motor to the way she plays. She runs the floor so well. She's a great rebounder. She can play inside, and then probably a little bit more this year. She can move out on the perimeter. So yeah, very versatile. We're gonna have to do a great job on her, and but even when they put O'Grady and a couple of the freshmen coming off the bench, they're deep inside. So it'll be a good challenge for us. But yeah, Stolke's good. She's got great game experience as well.
Carly, that last year, I mean, it was basically you say your second game. To go back to have this opportunity to play again, obviously NC State, South Carolina, and part of doubleheader. What do you feel like this just means for this program to play on this stage again?
It's definitely big for us. I think we know what we're capable of, and a lot of us have kind of gone through like successful seasons and games and things like that. So I think we all know what it takes. And we're grateful to have the opportunity to come back to the big stage. We're really just looking forward to going out there and giving it our all.
Megan, I haven't checked what your record was against how many points Lisa Olson scored against you in her Villanova career, but you're familiar with her.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of problems does she pose for Tech's defense on Sunday?
Yeah, Lucy's a tremendous player, one of the top players I think in the country, and she had a great career at Villanova. Was one of the top scorers in the country last year. So I think she's kind of fit in seamlessly at Iowa. She's getting opportunities to score the basketball. She's always been a really good passer. I think she's an underrated defender too, with her length, and and I think she's finding her way in their system, but also understanding that she can get hot and she can score. So yeah, it's nice, I guess, to you've played against her before, but obviously with our team we're talking about the balance of it's not just Lucy that you have to stop. It's their inside presence, it's their shooters, and then a player who's versatile like Olson. So we're gonna have to do a good job. 5 people on the floor defending, multiple efforts by all of our players on the floor. So it's a little bit less about one player, more about collectively, trying to stop a lot of them.
Matilda, to follow up on the big stage question, get your answer. This is only game 2. How ready is this team to be in the national spotlight and be on the big stage on Sunday?
I mean, I think we're ready. We obviously have a lot of freshmen, but I mean, we have played 2 games now in Castle, and Castle is another great environment, different. It's smaller than Charlotte, but it's still loud. A lot of people cheering. So I think we're ready. I know we're all excited to get to play in Charlotte and get to play in front of that crowd.
obviously you guys are returning, but a lot of young players. With Liz back in town for this, sort of ahead of that, with so much experience, how does the younger players sort of lean on that and having an alumni network come back to practices ahead of a game like this?
Yeah, we've been in contact with Liz just as she's finishing up that first WNBA season, to get her back on campus and around as much as we can. I know she stopped by for a few minutes today, and then she'll be kind of, one of the alums that's coming back for the Ally Tipoff. So, yeah, it's great to have her. Obviously, these girls know her really well as teammates, but from a standpoint of support of our entire program, to have her and her sister here today at practice was great. And any knowledge that she can share with myself, our staff, these guys is always a good thing.
Coach, I know this was obviously a game that was penciled in for you when you got here, but to have the opportunity to coach this program, game 2 for you here on this stage, national spotlight, what does it mean to you just to kind of have this opportunity, and what does it mean, the spotlight, for Virginia Tech to kind of be in it?
I think it's an honor to play in this Ally Tip-Off Classic. Like the company that's sponsoring, does a ton for women's sports and women's athletics, and they're the primary sponsor of the Aces, and they've done a lot of different things. My sister actually works for them, which is pretty cool. It's like just coincidentally. So I've known about just what they do to put women's sports in a forefront, and the opportunity to put us, on national TV and some great TV spots is awesome. So we don't take it for granted. And as you're seeing throughout this early preseason, there's some pockets of some great games that are on, nationally televised, TV slots. So we're grateful for it. I think the biggest thing for us is it's just going to be a measuring stick for us. I think that's the biggest thing. These non-conference games, a couple things. They're supposed to get you acclimated to different styles of play. Obviously getting you ready for the ACC at some point when that starts. So just the fact that we get to go into even a neutral environment, I think we'll have some Hokie fans there, which is great, but to go into a neutral environment like you are in the NCAA tournament at times, and to be able to showcase your team at an early stage, win or lose, like we're going to learn a lot about ourselves. And, I always say the season this early doesn't start or end with one game, but it's going to be really cool just to see how these two to the side of me lead our team and, just continue to grow their games. I think that's what's so awesome about this team, even today at practice, where they're working their tail ends off. They're really into the game plan and to helping each other out. And, we talk about like the couple days leading up, your goal is to, continue to improve each day. And then by Sunday, you get a chance to take the test and see where you are. So for us coaches, it's amazing to watch them. It's fun to watch them. We're being able to challenge them and coach them hard. And, I think they've been really responsive.
I was going to ask, what did they tell you about just the fan support to expect on Sunday? I mean, playing in front of 15,000, 16,000, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great, and I think all teams will have a good support. I mean, Iowa's traveling their fans. That's happened for a couple years now. Obviously, us and NC State being close, and then South Carolina not too far away. I think it's a great, just 4 great fan bases that are going to support this classic and support our women.
Carly, Coach talked about improving kind of incrementally day by day from playing on Monday to now. What do you feel like, just these last couple practices, what has it kind of been like leading up to this game on Sunday? Where do you guys feel like you guys kind of grown the most?
Definitely defensively. I think that's one of our biggest focuses. Obviously, their transition is really good. They shoot at a high clip. So just being able to get out on shooters while also understanding that Stolke's on the inside, that's something that obviously she's proven that she can do some damage. So just understanding that we have to contain her while also understanding that there are other threats just around her that we also need to get out on.
And Megan, to follow up on that, this isn't last year's Iowa team where they get in transition and you got to worry about the logo threes from far. what concerns to pass this test on Sunday? What are the concerns that you need to do well with this year's Iowa team?
Yeah, they're just I would say just a little more maybe balanced. Obviously, you have one of the greatest players in women's college basketball. Taking a lot of shots. She was phenomenal and difficult to guard, and as much as she could score the basketball, she was a great playmaker. I think now they're spreading it out a little bit more with their point guard play, with their shooters on the perimeter, and then their handful of inside players. So I think it's just maybe I would say similar to us, how we're trying to diversify our scoring and share the ball. I think you'll see some similarities with them as well.
How are they playing on defense this year? Is it different from what you may have seen Iowa in the NCAA tournament last year or what have you? Is it?
No, I think they're they're playing their man. They're scrappy. They're hard nosed. They're tough. They take angles. They're physical. Kind of how I think they've always been.